Welcome to a night of total terror.
In 1968, George Romero brought us Night of the Living Dead. It became the classic horror film of its time.
We must not be lulled by the concept that these are our family members or our friends. They are not. They will not respond to such emotion.
Now, George Romero brings us the most intensely shocking motion picture experience for all time.
It gets up and kills. The people it kills get up and kill.
When there is no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
First came the night, then came the dawn. Now comes the most eagerly awaited day in horror film history.
Thursday of the Dead. Thursday of the 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 Dead.
They're piling up out there. Wait till they're close. Make every shot count. Here they come! Go! Reloading! Cover me!
Move it! We're losing the roof!
Hold on. We're airborne!
Keep moving! Up the escalator!
Thursday of the Dead.
Welcome back to Thursday of the Dead, episode 358. My name is Jace. As many of you know, this series started off as Dawn of the Dead Thursday, and I did 100 episodes of that, focused completely on Dawn of the Dead. And to wrap up my 100th episode, which is where I changed format, I reached out to a couple of the classic Dawn of the Dead cast members and asked for a video. The two that responded and sent videos were Bob Michelucci, Scope Zombie, and Jim Krut, Helicopter Zombie. And I saw Dawn of the Dead in the theater in 1979 when I was like 8. And Jim Krut as the Helicopter Zombie stuck out to me because of the makeup and what happened to him. I had no idea that decades later he would record a video for me kind of talking about the fandom of Dawn of the Dead all over the world. Really cool gesture on his part. And when I was at Living Dead Weekend for the first time in 2023, my first time in the Monroeville Mall, which was mind-blowing in itself, I was at the VIP mixer and went to kind of get away from the crowd, which is kind of what I normally do. I went down this hallway and ran into Jim Krut there. And he was talking with some other people. And I went up to him, introduced myself, and said, "Hey, I want to thank you for sending me the video that you did for my 100th episode." And he looked at me and he said, "You remember that?" I was like, "Of course I remember that. That meant so much to me." And then as we were chit-chatting, I noticed he had a cane like I did. And so, I kind of asked him what was going on with the cane. He told me, and we exchanged kind of health-related stories about what led us to that point. And then I challenged him to a cane duel. And so there we are in a hallway inside the Monroeville Mall that had been closed off for the VIP party, having a cane duel. And I conceded that he won because I was able to kind of fence with him with the canes. I just couldn't back up because of my balance. And so he got the better of me, and we had a great laugh about that. And unfortunately, I got the news. Well, I'm sure most of you who watch this show got the news that this weekend he passed away. And I remember the announcement that he wasn't going to be making it to Living Dead Weekend 2026 that I was just at in June. And I remember being concerned about his health. And that's one of the things that, the unfortunate thing about doing this show is, and getting older, is seeing people I respect pass. So this episode is basically just a tribute to Jim Krut, how warm and friendly and playful he was. Very nice guy. And the only other person as nice as Jim that I met from the cast and crew was George Romero himself. So that says a lot about Jim and George. Anyway, Rest in peace, Jim. Thanks for everything.
Hi, this is Jim Krut, otherwise known as the Helicopter Zombie from George Romero's incredible, most incredible, world-famous Dawn of the Dead, 1978. Some people say worldwide, not just in the U.S. I'd like to just give you a little inkling of what Dawn of the Dead has meant internationally. This is an issue of Australian Heli News for helicopter pilots and those in the industry. And as you can see, the cover story is helicopters in the movies. And, whoa, surprisingly, there's Jim Krut. In Germany, there was a retrospective of George Romero and Zombie, or Dawn of the Dead. It was known as Zombie in Europe. And in this particular issue, of course, Dawn of the Dead is featured. And some of the classic folks you may know, including the Nurse Zombie, Machete Zombie, Hare Krishna Zombie, and the tall guy there is, of course, the Helicopter Zombie. So it's a rather extensive article going into a lot of the details. And so the German film-going public is fascinated by Dawn. In Barcelona, Spain, I was interviewed. I wasn't there, but it was a long-distance interview by Sci-Fi World, who did a little article on me. I guess you could say it's a little article. It's all in Spanish or Catalan. And I was just very humbled to be featured that way. This is the Rural Electric magazine. RE magazine is a national magazine. And they featured stories about what some of their employees did before they became employees. And strangely enough, I had worked in the film industry, and I was also in the rural electric industry for about almost 27 years. In the UK, there's a great show called Weekend of the Dead. It had 5 runs, and I appeared in at 3 of those conventions. It's fascinating, and it was all George Romero based. I think mostly the characters from Dawn of the Dead were all featured or brought in. And it's a nice little picture of me. This was one taken by Tom Savini after I got my top locked off by the helicopter. And these are some of the folks from the UK who made the convention possible. So these are just a few of the publications that show the international interest in Dawn of the Dead over the years. I know some of you may be collectors. This one is a card from Living Dead Weekend. This is another card. These are featuring me. And the reason I mentioned these, this is a more recent one, Helicopter Zombie. The reason I mention the cards, the reason I show you the magazines, is not that it's so much about me. It's more about what one small character in Dawn of the Dead has meant to so many people around the world. And literally an industry that's almost grown up around Dawn of the Dead. It's been fascinating to meet so many people internationally and so many great fans in the US, Canada, and the UK particularly, and Germany. And I don't know that any of us could have predicted it was going to happen this way. It's up to the fans, truly, to make it happen. We can make the best movie, we think, have the best budget, have the best actors, the best director, but it's always up to the fans to make things happen. And for you fans out there, I just want to thank you for a fantastic opportunity to be a part of your life. Happy Dawn of the Dead. Stay safe. Stay scared.
Watch out for the blades! Blade is the Zon, moving opter zombie and Donald. Helicopter zombie flies. Rest in peace, helicopter zombie. Helicopter zombies.